this form of Krishna, you'll forget all this nonsense. Huh? So, Srila Rupa Goswami has similarly described the transcendental nature of relishing topics concerning Krishna. A devotee once said, "It is very astonishing that since I have seen this personality of Godhead, who is washed by the tears of my eyes, there is shivering in my body, and he has made me a failure in executing my material duties. Since seeing him, I cannot remain silently at home. I wish to go out to him always." The purport of this statement is that as soon as one is fortunate enough to contact a pure devotee, one must be anxious immediately to hear about Krishna, to learn about Krishna, or in other words, to become fully Krishna conscious. So as soon as you come in contact with this science of devotional service, you should be like all over our site. Let me read all these books. Let me study all these courses. Wow, let me watch all these darshans, all these kirtans. Let me hear everything. Let me understand everything. Whew. You won't be able to execute your material duties properly. You'll become forgetful. Oh, I was supposed to be at work now. Oh, yeah, I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam and I forgot everything. Oops. Either wife or husband say, "Where's my dinner?" "Oh, sorry, I was chanting. I forgot to cook." It leads to all kinds of trouble. And I'm laughing because actually it's funny, All these things are simply distractions from the real life of devotional service. You might want to fix that fire. It's kind of going out. So when we forget about them, then that means we're becoming absorbed in transcendental life. And this is a good thing. This is a symptom of making advancement in devotional service. So one should actually, again, I'm reversing, see? Just like Rupa Goswami in his verse. He's praising that which should be condemned and condemning that which should be praised, right? So I'm reversing like in the same mood. Get it? Not really. Okay. Anyway, so if one becomes really advanced, you forget everything. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami. Similarly, there is a statement about hearing and chanting the Maha Mantra. It is said that saints have been able to hear the vibrating strings of the Veena in the hands of Narada, who is always singing the glories of Lord Krishna. Now this same sound vibration has entered my ears, and I am always feeling the presence of the Supreme Personality. Gradually, I am becoming bereft of all attachment for material enjoyment. Again, Srila Rupa Goswami has described Mathura Mandala. I remember the Lord standing by the banks of the Jamuna River, so beautiful amid the Kadamba trees, where many birds are chirping in the gardens. And these impressions are always giving me transcendental realization of beauty and bliss. It's a very nice description of Mathura. This feeling about Mathura Mandala and Vrindavan, described by Rupa Goswami, can actually be felt even by non-devotees. The places in the 84 square mile district of Mathura are so beautifully situated on the banks of the river Jamuna that anyone who goes there will never want to return to this material world. He's not necessarily talking about the Mathura in this material world. He's talking about the actual spiritual Mathura. These statements by Rupa Goswami are factually realized descriptions of Mathura and Vrindavan. All these qualities prove that Mathura and Vrindavan are situated transcendentally. Otherwise, there would be no possibility of invoking our transcendental sentiments in these places. Such transcendental feelings are aroused immediately and without fail after one arrives in Mathura or Vrindavan. Yeah, if you go and stay in Vrindavan, even for a very short time, the sentiments, the strong bhakti, devotional sentiments of the residents of Vrindavan will awaken transcendental feelings. Just by associating with the dust of Vrindavan, you will get appreciation for devotional service to Krishna. Everyone going here and there in their business, they're saying, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. You hear it everywhere. Jai Radhe. So you cannot forget Krishna, even for a moment. Everywhere you go, you're hearing Krishna's name, hearing kirtans, hearing people greet each other with these mantras. Such a wonderful place. In these statements about devotional service, sometimes it may appear that the results have been overestimated, but actually there is no overestimation. Some devotees, as revealed scriptures give evidence, have had immediate result by such association, although this is not possible for all. For example, the Kumaras immediately became devotees simply by smelling the incense in the temple. Bilvamangala Thakur simply heard about Krishna and then immediately gave up his beautiful girlfriend and started out for Mathura and Vrindavan, where he became a perfect Vaishnava. So these statements are not overestimations, nor are they stories. They are actual facts, but are true for certain devotees and do not necessarily apply to all. These descriptions, even if considered overestimations, must be taken as they are in order to divert our attention from the fleeting material beauty to the eternal beauty of Krishna consciousness. And for a person who is already in contact with Krishna consciousness, the described results are not unusual. This is one of the offenses against the holy name, is to consider the descriptions of the holy name or the effects of the holy name to be exaggeration, or to make some material interpretation on the meaning of the holy name. To consider that the Vedic scriptures are not factual. These are all offenses against the holy name. Actually, the wonderful descriptions of the effects of the holy name, far from being exaggerations, are very conservative. Actually, the holy name is even more wonderful than that. But the wonders of the holy name are so amazing, they can't even be described in words. We don't even have the words to truly understand. How do you describe the flavor of pure love? How do you describe the wonderful feeling of release from the law of karma? How do you describe these things, these inner feelings and sensations? They're not possible. How do you describe the taste of the holy name, like when we're chanting Vishnu Sahasranam? That pure, clean, crisp, beautiful taste. How can anyone describe that? Well, I guess I just did. Oh well. Anyway, some scholars argue that simply by following the principles of Varna and Ashram, one can gradually rise to the perfections reached by practicing devotional service. But this argument is not accepted by the great authorities. Lord Chaitanya also condemned this idea while he was talking with Ramananda Rai about the gradual development of devotional service. He rejected the idea of the importance of Varnashram Dharma when it was put forward by Ramananda Rai. He said that this advancement of Varna and Ashrama is simply external. There is a higher principle. In Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord says that one has to give up all other principles of elevation and take simply to the method of Krishna consciousness. This will help one in achieving the highest perfection of life. That's true. Varna and Ashram are part of the material instructions in the Vedas. The Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of material nature, Krishna says. In the second chapter, verse 54, I think. He says, the Vedas deal mostly with the modes of material natures. Be transcendental to these modes. See? So all of these Vedic ritualistic principles are basically external. They're external because they deal with management of the material body and material energy. But spiritual devotional service is completely transcendental because it engages the soul, pure consciousness, in the consciousness of Krishna through his holy name. So try to understand that this process is transcendental from the very beginning. Huh? It's not that it utilizes the material energy in some way. It doesn't use the material energy at all. Maybe externally there's some engagement of the material energy, but internally there's direct contact between the soul and Krishna. And that's the essence of devotional service, or Krishna consciousness. I'm always amazed at people who make some material interpretation of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means you go to this temple, you wear some funny clothes, you do this, you do that, and it's all described in external. No, it's not external. That's only preliminary or preparatory or a preliminary purification so that you can appreciate what